Set during the Vietnam War, the story begins by showing a group of young men preparing to undergo training to become U.S. Marine Corps soldiers. The training is led by a sergeant known for his strict, harsh, and highly disciplined methods. It takes strong mental endurance to survive in this unit.
Because I am hard, you will not like me. You maggots understand that? Sir, yes, sir! Sir, yes, sir!
Is that you, John Wayne?
We're introduced to one of the recruits, James, nicknamed Joker. True to his nickname, Joker cracks a joke while the sergeant is speaking to another soldier. The sergeant quickly singles him out and punches him in the stomach to teach him a lesson.
Who the said that?
When asked why he joined the Marines, Joker casually replies, "I just want to know what it feels like to kill someone." The sergeant then demands that he scream at the top of his lungs and show the face of a killer.
Ah! 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 Sir, yes, sir!
Among the recruits is a young man named Leonard, who constantly smiles, which the sergeant perceives as disrespectful, even though Leonard doesn't mean it that way.
1, 2, 3!
Sir, I can't help it.
Leonard is clearly less intelligent than the others, and the sergeant, experienced in dealing with difficult recruits, deals with him by choking him until he nearly passes out. It works. Leonard stops smiling from then on.
Are you through grinning? Sir, yes, sir! Sir, Private Brown, sir! Yes, sir!
2 weeks into training, the recruits begin to march and drill in unison. But when ordered to lift their rifles onto their left shoulders, Leonard makes another serious mistake and is punished.
Help, 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 help. Help, 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 over, this is what she said.
Mama rolled over, this is what she said.
That night, the sergeant explains that their rifles must be treated like their lovers, something they must care for every second. The soldiers sleep with their rifles while reciting vows to love and protect them. As physical training begins, Leonard continues to struggle, slowing everyone down. His fellow recruits, out of solidarity, help him complete the drills.
Quickly! Move it up! Hustle it up! Quickly, quickly, quickly!
Joker, appointed as squad leader, is responsible for helping slower recruits, especially Leonard, who needs extra attention.
Left one over the right. Make a 4-inch fold. The bolt goes in the receiver.
Thanks to Joker's guidance, Leonard begins to improve significantly, giving the sergeant a brief break from frustration. One night, during a surprise inspection, Leonard once again messes up. He forgets to lock his footlocker. But worse, the sergeant finds a forbidden donut inside, stolen from the mess hall. Tired of punishing Leonard alone, the sergeant decides that every time Leonard makes a mistake, the entire squad will be punished.
1, 2, 3, 4, ah!
This angers the other recruits, who eventually gang up on Leonard one night, beating him with bars of soap wrapped in towels. After that incident, Leonard's behavior becomes increasingly strange. He stares off blankly and even talks to his rifle. But ironically, he becomes a model soldier, disciplined and an excellent shooter. The training ends, and the recruits are now official Marines.
I just want my M14.
Today, you are Marines. Living, ladies!
Kill, kill, kill.
You'll all be able to do the same thing.
One night, Joker finds Leonard sitting alone in the bathroom, holding his rifle. Leonard begins shouting while performing drills, waking everyone up.
Order!
When the sergeant arrives, Leonard's crazed expression worsens. The sergeant orders him to lower his weapon and return to bed, but instead, Leonard shoots him and then turns the gun on himself.
Go easy, man.
When you were a child!
His mental state, clearly not built for such harsh training, leads to a tragic end.
Brotherhood. From now on,
Years later, Joker is now stationed in Vietnam, not as a soldier on the front lines, but as a military journalist covering the war. The area where he's stationed is surprisingly calm. He and his friend Rafterman can even relax on the streets without fear of sudden attacks or missiles. The only tension arises when a thief snatches Rafterman's camera, but even that's minor.
You know, half these goo choirs are serving.
Back at base, they attend a meeting where their superior officer orders Joker to write a dramatic story, one that makes the world believe Vietnam is in chaos, with endless suffering and violence. The goal is to justify America's presence, painting them as heroes.
Joker, I've told you we run two basic stories.
In truth, the locals seem to be living normal lives, while the American troops appear more stressed and out of place. Joker initially resists writing a false story but eventually gives in, because orders come from above, and those at the top care more about image and profit than truth or human lives. As a low-ranking soldier, Joker has no choice but to comply. On the night of the fireworks celebration, tension erupted when the Viet Cong launched a surprise attack on their base. Joker was forced to fire his full metal jacket rounds to help his fellow Marines hold the line and keep the enemy from breaching the compound. The next morning, their commanding officer informed everyone that the situation was rapidly deteriorating. The Viet Cong, once seen as rebels, had already taken over several key areas. Because of this, Joker and Rafterman were assigned to the front lines to report on the situation. But here's the catch. If they didn't find anything brutal or dramatic enough to write about, they were allowed to twist or exaggerate the story just to make it more appealing and catch global attention.
How's it gonna look if you get killed where?
Joker and Rafterman then boarded a helicopter, where they met a disturbing new companion, a door gunner who casually gunned down women and children working in the fields, even though they had nothing to do with the war. His actions shocked them, showing just how twisted some had become in the chaos of battle.
Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down!
Once they landed in a safe zone, Joker had to continue on foot to reach the front. Along the way, he stumbled upon the bodies of local Vietnamese families who were reportedly massacred by the North Vietnamese Army in Viet. Many of the victims were civilians, teachers, village chiefs, tax collectors, innocent people caught in the crossfire of war. Soon after, a commanding officer confronted Joker about his helmet. It had "Born to Kill" written on it, yet he also wore a peace symbol pin. The officer saw this as a contradiction and warned Joker not to treat war like a joke. He needed to take his role seriously.
Sir!
When Joker finally reached the front lines, he unexpectedly ran into Cowboy, an old friend from boot camp. But things weren't exactly warm and fuzzy. One of the seasoned soldiers there, Animal Mother, didn't take kindly to Joker and immediately challenged him, leading to a heated argument between the two. Despite the war setting, things on the battlefield weren't always as intense or serious as you might expect. In fact, there were moments when the soldiers could relax. One soldier, for example, casually posed for a photo next to the corpse of a Viet Cong fighter he had just killed, as if it were some sort of trophy.
These are great days we're living, bro!
The next day, their unit began pushing forward to expand their territory and press the Viet Cong forces. But karma seemed to catch up with the door gunner, who had arrogantly insisted on leading the formation. When an ambush hit, he was the first to go down. It turned out the enemy was hiding inside an abandoned building, but Joker and the squad, with superior numbers and firepower, managed to drive the Viet Cong out. Following their small victory, a TV crew arrived to interview the troops. Each soldier shared their personal experiences, most of them claiming the U.S. presence in Vietnam was simply to help the country fight off rebel forces. And when asked about civilian casualties, women, children, innocent people, the soldiers insisted those were unintentional, caused by the mental strain they'd been under while serving in the war. In a rare moment of downtime, and to celebrate their victory, the soldiers took the opportunity to indulge their desires. They invited a local Vietnamese woman over, for reasons that most viewers can easily guess.
Hey, I won't be long. I'll skip the foreplay.
Soon after, the unit reached a city suspected to be a stronghold of the Viet Cong. As they entered, one soldier was killed by a landmine, putting everyone on high alert. A scout was sent ahead to check the area, but that turned out to be a terrible idea. A Viet Cong sniper shot him, revealing the enemy's position. Fueled by rage after seeing his comrade die, Animal Mother charged forward with heavy firepower, giving the others cover to move in closer. But just as Cowboy was calling in for support, he was fatally shot by the same sniper. With no backup on the way, the squad had no choice but to advance and finish the mission themselves. Joker made it inside the building and spotted the sniper, who turned out to be a young Vietnamese woman, all alone. Even though he had the chance to shoot first, Joker hesitated, showing sympathy. That hesitation almost cost him his life, as she fired first and injured him. Thankfully, another soldier stepped in and took her down. As she lay dying, the Viet Cong sniper whispered a prayer and begged them to end her suffering. Though Joker had hoped for a peaceful solution, in the end, the brutal reality of war forced him to become something he never wanted to be, a cold-blooded killer. He pulled the trigger, ending her life. After that mission, Joker and his squad kept pushing forward against the Viet Cong. But as history tells us, America would ultimately lose the war. This film highlights America's involvement in Vietnam and its effort to stop the spread of communism by fighting the NVA, North Vietnamese Army, and Viet Cong, both of whom followed communist ideologies. The title Full Metal Jacket refers to the type of bullet used throughout the war. But more than that, the film shows the psychological toll of combat and how, despite their firepower and intentions, the U.S. failed to achieve victory in this brutal chapter of history. And with that, this recap comes to an end.